I welcome you all with my love and respect. Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvaditam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadhilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavadhitam Trigunarhitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanam everyone. Welcome you all to yet another beautiful Bhava Samadhi Darshan with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. Today, of Hinduism is going to be gracing all of us in the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Sri Surya. Surya is one of the vital energy centers of nature, one of the vital energies of the cosmos. Having the darshan of Bhagavan Surya helps manifest and complete many of the problems, many of the thought currents, of the old thought currents, which holds us back, which prevents us from manifesting the reality of our life. All our feeling of dullness, boredom, and tiredness with life can be completed, and the rejuvenation in you can happen. A new fresh start in your life can happen with the darshan of Bhagavan Sri Surya. Before we enter into the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, we're going to be learning more about Bhagavan Sri Surya, Bhagavan Sri Shiva Surya. We're going to be learning more about the science of Bhava Samadhi Darshan. And we are also going to be learning today about why it is important to receive the initiation from Swamiji. How is receiving the initiation from Swamiji different from receiving initiation elsewhere? These are the various topics, various things which we're going to cover as a part of today's segment, which will ultimately lead into having the darshan of Bhagavan Surya. But before that, I'd like to share with you all the grand narrative of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was born on the January 3rd, 1978, in the holy town of Tiruvannamalai in South India. At the tender age of 3, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism went through the ritualistic ceremony of being initiated into the Bhala Sannyas, which is the child saint initiation. This took place on the 17th of July 1981. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was initiated and went through the ritualistic ceremony, which was conducted by enlightened beings and his predecessors. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was identified as an incarnation of Paramashiva as per Hindu by beings and masters such as Yogi Raj Yogananda Puri, Vidwan Panduranganar, and the 230th Guru Mahasannidhanam of Tonde Mandaladinam of Kanchimat. At the age of 16, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's Vedanta Guru, Mata Vibhudananda Puri, also lovingly called as Mataji Kuppammal, initiated and coronated the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism as the successor of Arunachala Sarvagyapeetham to revive Kailasa internationally. As you can see here, the photo to the left, we have the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism with Mataji Kuppammal, Mata Vibhudananda Puri, and the handing over of the traditional items when the successor is being inducted, is being coronated as the head of the Sarvagyapeetham. The traditional items which are handed over, the wooden staff, the kamandalu, the water pot, and the conch. All these are traditional items which are handed over from Guru to disciple as part of the ritualistic ceremony. We also have here the official photo of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism being inducted as the successor of Arunachala Sarvagyapeetham. Here, we can see the early days in the mission of Kailasa, in the mission of the Nithyananda Sangha. To the leftmost, we have the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism at a very young age. You can see here in the black and white photo. The complex behind the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was built by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself, brick by brick. Under the guidance of his gurus, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism personally built the first temple monastery complex for his guru, Mata Vibhudananda Puri. After the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism started the public life, in the year 2001, on April 14th, the first Adinam, the first temple monastery complex, was established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on that day. As you can see here in the photo, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's own handwritten annotation is there, marking the historic moment in the history of Kailasa, the first inauguration of the first temple monastery complex. Next, a year after that, on November 4th, 2002, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and founded the Adi Kailasa Sarvagyapeetham, the headquarters of the Nithyananda Sangha and Kailasa. In the years following that, in the year 2004, at the age 26, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism began conducting living enlightenment conventions, mass living enlightenment conventions all across the globe in various parts of the world, including North America, Canada, Europe, and other and more cities. In the year 2005, at the age of 27, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was welcomed with the proclamation statement by the Mayor of St. Louis, Francis G. Slay. Here, we can see we have more glimpses of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism giving the Living Enlightenment Mass Initiation, the Living Enlightenment Mass Conventions happening in various parts of the world where large thousands and thousands of people have gathered to listen and hear these great truths and receive the teachings from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Here we can also see during the Kumbh Mela festival, which is one of the world's largest celebrated festivals, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gave the Mass Living Enlightenment initiation to all those who had gathered for the Kumbh Mela program, initiating thousands and thousands of people into the Living Enlightenment Diksha. These programs were conducted both during the 2015 Nasik Kumbh Mela as well as the 2016 Ujjain Kumbh Mela. Now, we're looking at the various coronations of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The first one, when the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was a mere tender age of 10, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the 233rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Tonde Mandaladinam of Kanchimat. In the years following, in the year 2004, on December 31st, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the incumbent emperor of the Suryavamshi Surangi Samrajya. In the years following that, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the 23rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharmamukti Swargapuramadinam. In the year 2012, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Kailasonatha Shyamapita Sarvanyapitam of Madurai. In the year 2000, Pontiff of Hinduism was coronated as the Mahamandaleshwar, which is the head, supreme spiritual head of the Mahanirvani Akhada, which is the largest apex body of Hinduism. In the same year, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was also coronated as the Acharya Mahamandaleshwar, 1008 Acharya Mahamandaleshwar of the Atal Akhada. The Acharya Mahamandaleshwar position is the head of all spiritual leaders, and the Atal Akhada is the oldest, ancient, most apex body of Hinduism. In the year following that, in the year 2015, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by a congregation of over 1,000 Hindu leaders, pontiffs. Kailasa. The United States of Kailasa, the sovereign nation and only nation for Hindus, is a macrocosmic, ancient, Hindu enlightened civilizational nation whose vision is living enlightenment for all of humanity. Kailasa's mission is to revive and share with today's world the practical applications of the greater sciences of authentic Hinduism, including Hindu cosmic physics, Hindu alchemy, Hindu cosmology, Hindu biology, Hindu mathematics, power manifestation, and other sciences as revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. These sciences were once practiced freely in over 56 nations across the continent, but are now facing extinction due to the persecution which has been happening over a millennium. Here we can see Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations and the 108 various initiatives started by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations. The 108 initiatives support a variety of humanitarian services, which collectively allows for the creation of an enlightened, peaceful, sustainable, equitable, resilient, and thriving world. One of the projects which we're going to be looking at right now is the No Hungry Home project offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for nutritious food and a hunger-free world. Kailasa, over the past 27 years, has served more than 1 billion free meals in the form of Annadan. Annadan is the traditional service of offering the traditional food as per the tradition, offering the organic meals free of cost during religious gatherings. These meals, these Annadan services, were provided free for all and without discrimination. On daily basis, more than 10,000 meals are given, free, are served, and this number raises to 100,000 on festival days. As you can see here in the photos, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself is actively involved in the Annadan service, personally with his own hand, serving many of the devotees and disciples and people who have come to receive the Annadan service. Here we can see Kailasa's protective and preventive COVID care centers offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for affordable and holistic health care. During the pandemic, a global event which shook the world and caused insecurity, anxiety, and a feeling of fear for everyone, it was the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism who is the only person who offered a safe haven, who offered a solution to the whole world to protect themselves from the coronavirus pandemic. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism converted his temple monastic complexes as multi-layer quarantine facilities and all people. Everyone, regardless of their gender, age, caste, creed, ethnicity, color, socioeconomic status, food, shelter, internet, everything was provided free for anyone who decided to come and who wanted to live in the multi-quarantine facility created by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. All the basic facilities and basic needs were provided, including medical care and other initiatives and other facilities and amenities. More than 30 million citizens followed Kailasa's e-citizen 28-day spiritual regimen in the year 2020. Here, we can see Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Education Reform and Development, offering the Nithyananda Hindu University and the Nithyananda Gurukul. Nithyananda Hindu University was established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and is the world's largest Hindu university. The Nithyananda Gurukul was also established by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on the 2nd of October 2006. The Nithyananda Gurukul is the revival of the ancient Adi Shaivite Guru-disciple knowledge transmission system, an authentic knowledge transmission system based on enlightenment. Nithyananda Hindu University has more than 20 million enrollments, 7,000 free courses, and extended campuses in more than 150 different countries. Here we have Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for the protection of Hindu scriptures, offering the Nithyananda Jnanalaya project and the Hinduism Pedia project. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism established the Nithyananda Hindu Jnanalaya project to preserve and collect the 1 million Hindu scriptures, while ensuring that knowledge is made accessible and shared free of cost to all, collecting and preserving 1 million source books on Hinduism. The Hinduism Pedia project is a collection where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has collected more than 15 terabyte of digital materials, digital books, rare manuscripts from all the 19 Sarvanyapitams and ancient mutts and ashrams. More than 1 million pages on Hinduism, collection of 22,000 digital books, 1,000 e-textbooks, and more than 100 articles on Hinduism have been collected. Not only that, but the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself has authored more than 1,000 books in 3 different languages, which have been translated in over 50 other different languages. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also given more than 10,000 hours of free discourses with a combined view of more than 1 billion and has published more than 100,000 articles. Here, we can see Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Global Peace and Religious Harmony, offering the Conferences for World Peace. In the year 2009, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism organized a month-long peace walk covering 1,000 kilometers and 1,000 villages to bring together in harmony from all walks of life to promote feeling connection and oneness among the people. And during the walk, health camps were erected and provided for all the villages along its path. Here we can see Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Feminine Empowerment and Gender Equality, offering the various women empowerment programs. Kailasa's Yogini Sarvanyapitham is the establishment of yoga and meditation universities to empower their quality of life and emphasis on life solutions through the Vedas and Agamas, empowering the indigenous harmful gender stereotyping, gender-based violence, and lack of inclusive and quality learning environments. Some of the initiatives include Kailasa's Nithyananda Lakshmi, which is a microfinancing service, Kailasa's Women Foundation and Women Empowerment Self-Help Centers, which have been launched in 108 places since its initiation in the year 2009. We also have Kailasa's Ankita program, which is providing foundational literacy about the working of basic community services and infrastructural environments. And finally, Kailasa's Ashtraya program, providing vocational training and programs to rural and indigenous women to provide equal opportunities and access to independent, self-sufficient financial environments for them. Here next, we have Nityananda Yoga, offered by Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations for Yoga. We can see here the first offering in the Nityananda Yoga are the Nityananda Kriyas, which are 108 scientifically validated Kriyas revived by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, targeting the major 108 diseases and disorders humanity is suffering with, such as diabetes, arthritis, blood pressure, and rheumatism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has also revived the ancient pole yoga, Shivastambha yoga, and rope yoga, Kundalini Rajju yoga, in which yogic asanas, postures, and weight balancing techniques are performed to create the yogic physiology, aligning it to the cosmic geometry that manifests superconscious powers. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, has also been awarded 2 Guinness World Records for the largest rope yoga, which is the Kundalini Rajju yoga, and pole yoga, Shivastambha yoga classes, bringing worldwide attention to these ancient and extraordinary forms of yoga. These Guinness World Records were received by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism on the 3rd of September and on the 30th of September and 3rd of October respectively. Despite being heavily persecuted continuously for over a decade, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in his unwavering intention, commitment, and action in building the only Hindu nation, the sovereign state of Sri Kailasa, to protect, revive, preserve the ancient Hinduism, the most ancient, most peaceful, still living, and long lasting demonstrable system that shows the possibility of peaceful coexistence amongst people. Now, we're looking at one of the most important and most historic moments in the history of Kailasa nation, where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism led the Kailasa, the first nation of Hindus, spoke on behalf of the 2 billion global Hindu diaspora at the 14th session of the United Nations Forum on Minority Issues. A significant milestone in the history of Hindus and sovereign state of Sri Kailasa happened on the 2nd of December 2021. His Excellency Sri Nitya Moksha Priyananda, Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of Kailasa, represented the persecution of Hindus at the 14th session of the United Nations Forum on Minority Issues. The theme of the forum was conflict prevention and the protection of human rights of minorities. This was the first time the plight of persecuted Hindu minorities was represented in the United Nations. The systematic, ongoing, and generational attacks on Hindu indigenous traditions were highlighted in this meeting. We are now looking at the various torture and murder attempts by the state and non-state actors on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. More than 70 assassination attempts have been made on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, physical attacks in India and abroad. Over 40 attacks on community members, destruction of monasteries and temples, over 60 incidents of attacks, molestation, and rape of women and women monks, intense lawfare through the 100 false legal cases, and intersectional persecution using the entire government mechanism, politically owned media, police and judiciary controlled by politicians, and inciting mob violence through the social media. These are just but few of the many ways the persecution of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has happened, the illegal persecution conducted by these anti-spiritual elements and anti-Hindu elements. But despite going through all of this, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism remaining steadfast to contribute and give back to society, to raise the superconscious level of society, and to create the only Hindu nation, to create Kailasa for all of us. In this next segment, we're going to be learning more about one of the most important contributions given to society by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, which is the science of power manifestation. We're going to be learning the scriptural references for power manifestation, how the power manifestation science works, as well as a live demonstration of the powers of Paramashivam. We are going to be seeing a live demonstration of the powers of third eye and the power of manifesting your will over consciousness. So please stay tuned. We'll be back with you after a short break where we're going to be having a live demonstration of these powers.
For centuries, we've sought to understand the essence of life. Is it not what we all yearn to know? What is consciousness, and how is it that sometimes we are aware and sometimes we are not? What happens if our ego or self dissolves completely? Is consciousness present before all experience? We perceive the world as separate from us. But what if it's not? How do we transform the sensory experiences of our brain into the higher dimensional reality of our consciousness? Meditation has understanding the nature of our mind. It lets us of reality. The question remains, how much of reality do you wish to perceive?
I'll give you the precise methodology, technology for you to raise, reach, realize, and manifest Paramadvaita, the ultimate oneness, in as simple way as possible.
Yes, Nithyananda, and welcome to all the viewers watching us on our social media platforms. Now we'll be entering into this powerful and beautiful session where we're going to be seeing the manifesting of the powers, the Shaktis of Paramashiva manifest. So, in this session, we are going to be learning a few various aspects of power manifestation, like the science behind the power manifestation, how we can learn to manifest these Shaktis, and ultimately the live demonstration of the powers. Now we are going to be understanding first the science of the Shaktis. How do these Shaktis manifest and from where are they? Who has revealed these Shaktis to us? So in the Vedagamas, the source scriptures of Hinduism, Bhagavan Paramashiva reveals in elaborate detail that every human is hardwired to manifest the 463 plus Shaktis of Paramashiva. Manifesting Shaktis are described as a systematic method and a time tested science for humans to manifest various possibilities and powers in their life. The Shaktis manifest from the fundamental cognition that you are Paramashiva and not the cognition that you are a human and you need to reach Paramashiva. Now we see the difference between the Shaktis and Siddhis. The Shaktis express from the space of enlightenment as a side effect of the deep oneness and the deep bhakti and integrity with the Guru or with the divinity. And the Siddhis are expressions that happen when you are on the path of enlightenment and when you are striving for enlightenment through doing various penances. Then the Shaktis are the source of enlightenment. The Shaktis are for every human. Any human can manifest this, irrespective of their past or their present situations. They can manifest the Shaktis of Paramashiva after the initiation of a Guru. But the Siddhis manifest through some people who undertake lots of penance, and the Siddhis are not permanent. The Shaktis are permanent and they keep manifesting through us to help humanity. Then we have the four different filters that validate the science of power manifestation. They are the pramanas. The Shastra Pramana, which is the scriptural evidence, the scriptural reference for these powers, are the direct revelations. These are the direct revelations of Paramashiva, what Paramashiva has told the world in the Vedas and the Agamas. Then we have the Apta Pramana,
which is the experiences and the haptical events like the Puranas and the Itihas and the other lives of various other incarnations, and including the enlightened masters who have walked on the planet Earth as recent as Satya Sai Baba or Maharishi Mahesh Yogi or Yogananda, including all of their life and their experiences, come under the Apta Pramana. The Atma Pramana is the experiences of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and he validates his experiences with the Shastra Pramana and the Apta Pramana to validate and give us only the experiences which are in alignment with Nagamas and the ancient rishis. Then we have the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the scientific evidences for the Shaktis. What science has understood from the manifestation of these Shaktis. Now we are seeing the source of these Shaktis. From where do they manifest? And the answer is they manifest from Paramashiva. Paramashiva is the primordial divinity in Hinduism, the ultimate reality, cause, which is self-effulgent, all-pervading, unchanged beyond time, space, form, and causality. He is the fundamental base of Avyakta, which is the manifest and the unmanifest. He performs the 5 actions, the Panchakritya, which create, sustain, rejuvenate, pull out of delusion, and liberate this whole cosmos. And it is from that ultimate energy, the ultimate source, that these Shaktis manifest. And there is an important truth that we have to understand, which happens through every human when they are initiated into the Shaktis. When a powerful cognition is cognized by our consciousness, it manifests through us as Shaktis. Now we are seeing the 4 different pramanas in detail. So first is the Shastra Pramana. The scripture, the Shastra Pramana from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, a scripture which has been directly revealed by Paramashiva to Paramashiva Shakti. And the whole scripture gives us various pramanas, various instructions on the science of power manifestation. So here we have the pramana which is from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, the 34th verse. And Paramashiva in this verse says, Kapalantar manonyasa tishtan milita lochanaha kramena manaso dadyat lakshayet lakshyamuttamam. The translation is, by having the mind fixed on the inner space within the crown center, one should sit stably without any movement, having the eyes in succession to the third eye. Then, O Devi, one is able to have the ultimate vision of the goal, the lakshyam, and he has the sight beyond the physical eyes that he has and is able to see any object or any place, and he, the yogi, is in oneness with Paramashiva. So this is the exact translation of the verse. Now we have the Apta Pramana, which is the evidences and the stories from the life of these great incarnations who have come before us. Here we have the story from the Mahabharata, which is the beautiful epic that happened in the life of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Here we have the part where Arjuna wanted to see the Vishwarupa Darshana of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. And at that time, Bhagavan Shri Krishna initiates Arjuna into the 11th chapter, into the third eye, into the science of the third eye, and Arjuna has the direct vision of the magnificent form of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So in the 8th verse of the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, the initiation is given to Arjuna by Bhagavan Shri Krishna. The direct translation of the verse is, you cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore, I initiate you into the third eye, behold my cosmic form. And then Arjuna is able to see the cosmic form of Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Here we have the here we have the Atma Pramana, which is the evidence and the experiences from the life of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. In his own words, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism explains this experience in a very beautiful way. He says, in my first experience, I was able to see everything around me, above me, below me, the whole 360 degrees in 10 directions. Not only I realized I was able to see, but I was able to feel everything around me. So here we can see how the experience of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is showing to us that the manifestation of the third eye happening, and we can see it is also in tune with the Shastra Pramana. Next we have the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the scientific study done on the science of the Shaktis. So here we have the study which was conducted directly on the Supreme Pontiff, conducted a test called the positron emission tomography test, where a specific equipment is used to measure the amount of energy being radiated from the brain. And at that time, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism awakened his third eye in a very powerful way, and the machine was able to see high amount of energy being released from this frontal part of the forehead, and they had confirmed the existence of the third eye. And not only it has been recorded on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, this same evidence has been replicated in all the balasans and yogis who have manifested the power of the third eye. Now we are going to be seeing a detailed power that manifests from the third eye, which is the power of the consciousness over matter. And in this power, one is able to move the external object by having oneness with it. Here we have the Shastra Pramana, the scriptural reference for this power, and it is also from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 120. Bhagavan Paramashiva in this verse says, Kvachit vastuni vinyasya shaner drishtim nivartayet tajnanam chitta sahitam devi shunyalayo bhavet. The meaning is, having fixed one's eyes on a particular object, one should slowly withdraw the gaze, the thoughts, and the cognitions that he has about that object. Then, O Devi, one abides in Shunya, the state of all inclusiveness and infinity. So this is the beautiful step-by-step procedure which Paramashiva reveals in this verse on how to manifest the powers of Paramashiva. So now we are going to be having a live demonstration where I'm going to be manifesting this Shakti of consciousness over matter. So in this Shakti, I will be having my Atmalinga placed on my palm, and my palm will be on a flat surface. So as we can see, the Atmalinga will be placed on my hand, and with the power of Paramashiva, we will be seeing the Atmalinga stand. So this is just the outline of the power. And now I'm going to be showing my hand in a close-up camera. We can see the Atmalinga and a tissue paper being shown. And you can also see my hand now. As we can see that my hand is there, and then you can see there's no external things which are tied to my hand, or there's no kind of not normal features which are in my hand, and there's no kind of glue or anything. And we can also see here the Atmalinga. This Atmalinga is made of a crystalline material, and you can see it's totally transparent. And this tissue paper we are going to be using to make sure and to show the authenticity that even when we move the tissue paper around the Atmalinga, we can verify that there's no strings or any other external force being used on the Atmalinga. So now I have folded the tissue paper and I'm placing the Atmalinga on my hand. And now I'm going around the tissue, around the Atmalinga, and we can see the tissue paper around the Atmalinga. There is no movement in the Atmalinga, and you can even see above on the sides. There is no movement which is happening because of anything external. So I'm going to place the tissue paper right here. And now I will be connecting with Paramashiva, and I'll be chanting the Mahavakya, and all the viewers can also watch and manifest this power live with me. So when the Balasans or any initiated disciple manifests the power of any powers, any Shaktis, it is not just a demonstration of showing off that the Shakti happens or of moving an object, but it is a space of entanglement and a space for our realities to be manifested, which is created. So all the viewers can also take this time to manifest the Shaktis of Paramashiva. And if you have any desire that you want to fulfill in your life, you can take this time to manifest that by creating a strong intention for the reality to happen in your life. So now I will be chanting the Mahavakya. Yes, so now I'll be chanting the Mahavakya, and you can see that my hand is there in the camera, and just keep looking at the Atmalinga, and when you see the Atmalinga, automatically the entanglement will happen and you will also start manifesting the Shaktis. So now let's enter into the manifestation. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 So now we have seen the beautiful manifestation of the Atmalinga moving. So this is not a power to show the expression of the Shaktis to move an object. The supreme point of Hinduism beautifully gives us the context that powers are, there are so many beautiful contexts actually. reasons for the manifestation. But the best is that when we manifest Shaktis, we are elevated to a higher context. We are elevated to a higher state of consciousness where we are in oneness with Paramashiva. We are like on a phone call with Paramashiva. And imagine being on a phone call with a billionaire who is offering you any amount of anything. And you will feel totally open to ask anything that you wanted. And you know it's going to happen. It's not like just asking somebody and you seeing that nothing is happening, but you know it is going to happen. So the same thing is with the Shaktis. When you manifest Shaktis, you elevate yourself into a higher state of consciousness where you allow Paramashiva to flow through you. And that is the time you can actually use to create the life that you want. And in the Mahaparamashivoham, we are going to be learning exactly this. And now we are going to be understanding a very important aspect of the initiation from the Guru. Why initiation and how manifestations happen, how these powers express through us. And this is going to be a very powerful session where we are going to learn lots of important understandings on the science of initiation and why it is important to have the right guru in your life. So now let's get ready to enter into the next session where we are going to be learning these higher truths from directly the supreme point of Hinduism. So now let's sit with our head, neck and spine in a straight line. Let's bring the awareness to the third eye, because when we bring the awareness to the third eye, automatically start to happen in us. Make sure you make notes and save these powerful cognitions in your social media platforms or your notebook, your book of hearts. Keep aside all the distractions which are disturbing you, like your mobile phone, unless you're using it to take the notes. And now let us enter into the video.
Most guarded secrets of the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, there may be some gurus who experienced ultimate within them, but they will not know how to teach. There are some, even if they know to teach, they do not know how to transmit the experience. There are some who would have had experience, but not the traditional initiation. There are some who would have had experience and initiation, but may not know how to transmit. There are some who would have had initiation and experience and even know how to transmit, but they may not have received initiation, the right to transmit. That's called Acharya Abhishekam. Even if you know the method to transmit to others, you should be ritualistically initiated, authorized by the Guru Parampara through Acharya Abhishekam. Means the right to initiate others should be given to you ritualistically by the right authorities. There are some who may have capacity to transmit the initiation, can in turn initiate others. In every level, he gave me everything just by making one right decision, making this body happen in Tiruvannamalai. That ecosystem gave all the 16 things needed for an ultimate guru: intellectual knowledge, enlightenment experience, right intellectual knowledge, right to transmit the experience, proper initiation into intellectual knowledge, proper initiation into enlightenment experience, proper initiation to initiate others into intellectual knowledge, proper initiation into initiate others into enlightenment, proper initiation to initiate my disciples to authorize them to initiate others into intellectual knowledge, proper capability to initiate my disciples to teach others the intellectual knowledge, rightful initiation to authorize my disciples to empower others with enlightenment experience, proper initiation to initiate my disciples to empower others with enlightenment experience, initiating my disciples into enlightenment and initiating them to transmit enlightenment in every level, totally 16 level. All 16 He showered on me. All 16 He blessed me. So with His grace, compassion, and the authority, with His grace, with Paramashiva's grace and Paramashiva's compassion and the authority Paramashiva showered on me directly and through the unbroken Guru Parampara, chain of Guru Parampara, I initiate all of you into Paramashiva Jnana, Paramashivadvaita, intellectually, experientially, ritualistically, and giving the Shakti Pada, Shakti Nipada initiation. This initiation connects you with Paramashiva directly through a proper, unbroken, avichinna, unbroken, authentic Guru Parampara. Chinna Guru Parampara, which is a fundamental requirement along with enlightenment experience. Please understand, just because of enlightenment experience, somebody is not authorized to initiate. Avichinna Guru Parampara Diksha is required. So this introduction I gave now, listen again and again, then you will understand. I am not disrespecting any enlightened beings, but just enlightenment does not give the right to initiate others. Just enlightenment means they found a boat to cross the ocean of samsara, ocean of delusion, that's all. But they do not have the capacity to take others.
Yes. Beautifully, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism expanded on reason why initiation. Many people have asked, yes, I understand spirituality. Spirituality is needed for our life. We should follow Hinduism, we should have a little bit of religion in our life. But why Swamiji? Why the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism? Very beautifully, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism answered and clarified this doubt. Authentic Hinduism happens from guru to disciple, guru to disciple. The guru initiates, teaches the disciple, gives him all the ritualistic initiations which is needed, not only for him, for the disciple to manifest and continue the mission, to continue to spread the cause. Also, everything needed for him to initiate his own disciples and them to initiate their own. And so this continuous stream, which is systematically laid down in our Vedas, in our Agamas, the authentic Hinduism, it is only being practiced here in Kailasa. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the only one who has received all the 16 initiations, ritualistic initiations, as per the scriptures, to give you the superconscious breakthrough, to give you the experience of Advaita, of oneness, as per Hinduism. So it is only through the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism can you actually truly experience Hinduism in all its authenticity, in all its glory. The authentic Hinduism you can experience only here. Now, before we continue further, many of you may be having the question, may be asking, okay, all this is nice and great, but why is this important for my life? Why do I need the Paramashivam program? Why do I need Swamiji in my life? Understand, if you are aware of the recent news and the recent happenings across the world, you may be very well aware of the thousands and thousands, hundreds and thousands of layoffs which are happening in the tech companies, the calamities, the problems which are going on in various parts of the world, the wars, the insecurity of having an economic recession. There's so many various problems, so many insecurities, fears which people are having, which you yourself may be having. So what is the solution for this? How are you going to live with this fear for the rest of your life? What is your solution to cope with this? What is the solution to come out of this, to live a happy and blissful life, no matter what life may throw at you? The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Swamiji, beautifully deals with all our problems, helps us to understand why we need Hinduism, why only through the science of Advaita, the science of living enlightenment, is needed, not just to solve the big problems in your life of the decisions we should be making in our career, big life decision-making decisions, but even the smallest problems of having a headache, of being lazy, not being able to get up in the morning. From the smallest problems which we may be having on a daily basis to the big and large decisions which we should be making in our life about the course and actions of our life. For all of these problems of every variety, of every kind, of every type, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has the solution and is giving the solution to all of us. What we're going to be going through today in this segment, in this program, leading to the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, is only a glimpse of what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, of what Swamiji will be offering to you, will be contributing to your life. Throughout the program, we're going to be giving you the intellectual knowledge and understanding, as well as having the completion process through which you will experience the power manifestation and understand the authenticity of the science. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the Paramashivam program will bolt this experience permanently in you. Your permanent toolkit, permanent assets in which you can handle every and all situations in your life, be it at home, be it at work, wherever it may be. You'll be able to handle all the problems in your life. And so actually we have sharings and testimonies of participants of the Paramashivam program, sharing why they are attending the program and what life transformation has happened in them, how their life has completely turned a 360 and has become magical for them now. Yes, so let us now see the first testimony which we have today.
Since I was a kid, I have always been praying to Lord Paramashiva. Lord Shiva is my Ishta Devata, And after I met Swamiji and attended several programs and took initiations, I realized that Paramashiva himself has incarnated as my Guru Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. I've been attending so many of Swamiji's programs, two-day program, weekend programs, 21-day programs, and 3-month programs. And every program has taken me to a higher level. But after attending, I realized that it is beyond any program. I cannot even call it a program. It was like literally sitting with Lord Paramashiva in Kailasa. And after finishing the program, I realized that for those 21 days, I have not taken any medication at all. Because for the past 1.5 years, I've been suffering a lot with one or the other health issues, either body pains or fatigue or unable to do any daily chores, workout, yoga, nothing. But after finishing the program, my enthusiasm and energy level has gone up so high. I've still not been taking any medicines at all.
Yes, a very beautiful sharing where the devotee beautifully explained how this program has not just become a 21-day workshop for them, but has transformed and become a part of their very lifestyle, of their day-to-day routine. Previously, before attending the program, she was having problems with, even in her daily life, her energy levels and so many other health issues, body problems that she was facing. All of that were not only solved, but her very lifestyle has changed going forward. Even meditation has become not just insignificant, but she has so much of energy now where she doesn't need a separate program, a separate process to be active, energetic, inspired by life. The supreme point of Hinduism, just by having the darshan and attending the Bhava Samadhi darshans, just sitting and being in his presence, his Naina Diksha, Swamiji is able to give the superconscious breakthrough, raise the energy levels, and remove all fatigue, boredom, and tiredness from all the participants. Let us now look at the next sharing which we have.
During the initiation, it was very powerful. Again, the out of the body experience. That is something that happens every single time during the initiations in Paramashivam number 3. Very liberating experience because you simply leave these barriers that we have about our body just melt down. Because how I'm feeling now, it's this happiness, right? You feel this happiness. But during the initiation, when you have this out of the body experience, it's just like, you have been free from this happiness, and it's like you can fly, you can literally fly.
Yes. Here we have another beautiful sharing where the devotee had the outer body experience where she witnessed herself as separate from her body. This was not a separate special meditation process where, it was a focused program technique to just have the outer body experience. All of these experiences, power manifestations, and spiritual experiences which everyone is having are only a byproduct of the superconscious awakening which is happening, of the Advaitic experience which is happening with the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, with Swamiji. As we learned earlier today during the power manifestation segment, all these powers, everything is a side effect, is a result of our space of oneness with Swamiji, of the aims which we are manifesting, which we are having with Swamiji, which results in various different ways as powers, as outer body experiences, and other spiritual experiences and spiritual breakthroughs. So the fundamental core through this is pushing you, helping you to achieve your highest reality and ultimately living in the space of oneness in Advaita with Paramashiva, with Swamiji. Now, let us look at our next testimony.
Swamiji initiated us to higher time zones, that is Mahakailasa, he gave us few mantras, and where by chanting those mantras, we could connect to Mahakailasa anytime. So this was his boon and blessing, that we can do it anytime. But during initiation, he himself made us do it so effortlessly that I was lifted to Mahakailasa, and I could see that I was there literally, and Shiv and Parvati literally were blessing me. Since I hold my family in my inner space, then I was blessed. So it was an amazing experience, and only this could be possible only because of Swamiji. That it happens so effortlessly. Otherwise, it takes the lifetimes to experience.
Yes, another beautiful sharing. One of the many processes, many experiences which Swamiji takes you through the program is the experience of having the darshan, experiencing. Swamiji goes in depth about the science of vertical time zones, the reality of how the vertical time zones exist, as well as the process to raise your consciousness, raise your frequency, to vibrate in that of various lokas, the vertical realities, the vertical dimensions, so you can have darshan and experience the various lokas and dimensions as well. Here, the devotee beautifully shared how Swamiji was able to raise the frequency and her brain frequency to experience that of Mahakailasa, which is the highest vertical dimension in our cosmos, in existence. Let us now have the next sharing.
Nithyanandam, this is Hiranmayi, Paramashivam level 3 participant. Actually, last night Swami gave us all Turiya Tita initiation. After that, when I woke up in the morning, I had a very deep sleep in the night, and when I woke up in the morning, suddenly my full body is light. My clothes really literally became very light. I lost weight, and I was, for the first time, I felt in life that life is really happy, blissful, and I was really dancing from within inside. Swami in one of the videos said, "You are truly alive when you get up in the morning and say, yes, today day has begun very blissfully." And so that has happened in me. I'm very happy for that, and also I'm able to sit in Padmasana very comfortably for a longer amount of time. When Swami comes for darshan, really I feel like dancing. The dancing is from within. You should see how Kundalini awakens when Swami comes actually for darshans. The Pradama Vinyasa Krama Yoga is is ultimate. And emotionally I'm very blissful today, and I'm able to multitask, being peaceful with myself. Swami gave so many initiations, He gave Jivan Mukti initiation, he gave then death meditation, and then he gave so many Nataraja Bhava Samadhi Darshan, he gave Vishesha Diksha, he gave every day is like 21-day program. You should live even one day is like 21-day program. So it is 21 to the power of 21 to the power of 21, I think, the full program. I'm just in day 7 today, and I could see so much of healing happening within. Like in Swami's program, there's no depth for spiritual experience. Actually, sitting with Swami, seeing him is itself a very big spiritual experience.
Yes. Another beautiful experience shared by our devotee who experienced and had the darshan and went through the Paramashivam program. Swamiji is like a lamp. And when we attend the Paramashivam program, we are lighting our mud lamp with the deepa, the fire in his lamp. And so naturally, we are all extensions, the same consciousness, the same energy, the same depth which Swamiji is having. He is just giving and share and lighting our lamps with the same lamp, the energy which he is having. All of these experiences and all of the inspiration, the willingness to live life, the joy, positive energy, inspiration to live life and have the trust on life, live life as a joy, is one of the problems, one of the things majority of humanity is suffering. Many people, almost 90% of the people, are not happy with the life they are living, are not enthusiastic, do not want to get up in the morning, want to delude themselves either in the form of entertainment, in the form of drugs, in various ways, because they're not able to cope up with reality, they're not able to cope up with life. They don't want to live the life they are living. Swamiji, beautifully from the inner, awakening your inner consciousness, awakening and raising you to the superconscious frequency with the experience of Advaita, of oneness, automatically it just blossoms inside you as a flower. Your inner space blossoms as a flower, and you will have so much of conviction, so much of enthusiasm, positivity about life. We're now going to be watching our next testimony.
Nithyananda, my name is Manitya Yoganyananda. I live in France. What to say about this wonderful program, Paramashivam Level 3. I've been blessed by Swamiji to join for the second time to this wonderful program. And there are so many things I can say, so many things I can share about. But today I want to share about, when we want to manifest everything in our life, when things are not working the way we want them to work, we used to be disappointed, upset, and we instead of looking inside us the reason, we used to seek outside the reason responsible of of all these things that are not working, So what I've learned, what I've internalized in me is that Paramashivam Level 3 is a wonderful field, like yes, a divine space where I can feel that everything, really everything is possible. Not easy to explain with words, because it's like being there, just being there and realizing that, yes, that you can do everything. You can really manifest everything, So really, I'm inviting you to join. Do it for yourself. Do it for your family, for your friends. Do it. Join the program. Your life will never be the same again. Never, never, never. Trust on me and take your decision. Do it today.
I surrender to you all of my lows and all my high moves.
Yes, another beautiful sharing. Paramashivam is literally the best gift you can give to anyone in your life, be it friends, family, co-worker, anyone it may be in your teamily, in your vatavarna, in your space. Paramashivam program is the best thing you can give them. It is actually kind of difficult to experience and share with all of you the experiences and the benefit you will get out of the Paramashivam program. How do you explain a person who's blind? How do you explain hearing to a person who's deaf? How do you explain the joys of eating ice cream or any other food items to a person who has never tasted it? It is the same thing with the Paramashivam program. All words are insufficient when it comes to talking about the benefits, what you will take away from the program. It is like when the cleaning of your inner being is happening, when you clean your house, you discover all the things which are hidden away, stored away, tossed around here and there, and you forgot about it over time. And it is because of these very things, there may be a sink leaking in your house, there may be some place where it is clogged and there's not proper airflow, some things which were missing, you have finally found them back. It is literally a cleansing, a cleaning of your whole mind, body, spirit, whole three system. And so the benefits, everything is in a magnitude where so many things which you expected, which you did not expect, everything will manifest in the Paramashivam program. It is literally one of the best things you can do for yourself, you can do for your family members, and anyone else in your life. Giving them the experience, making them understand that they are not the person who they think to be. They do not need to settle for the mediocrity in their life. They can experience themselves as the ultimate. They are the ultimate. Giving them the experience of Paramashivoham, where Swamiji makes them realize, helps them to understand and manifest that they too are Paramashiva. They too can manifest the reality which they want, whether it can be in the form of having leadership qualities, manifesting the 463 powers of Paramashiva, having various spiritual experiences, even humanly things like mending and having completion in all our relationships, breaking certain lifestyle habits and lifestyle patterns. All of these things are only byproducts or only after effects, side effects of the actual experience which will happen to you in the Paramashivam program. If you want to personally benefit from the program or register a friend or a family or someone who you think will benefit greatly from this program, the QR code and the link to the website where you can register yourself for the Paramashivoham is linked below. Please take a few moments and register yourself, and I can assure you it will be one of the best decisions you have taken in your life. Let us now listen to the next sharing which we have.
Connecting to Swamiji and seeking his guidance, this program was something that I could not even think. It's mind blowing. And even if you have done this PSM3 before, this is completely different. And whatever Mark Jnanamai was explaining just now really happened to me. My health issues got resolved. I had fatty liver, I had depression, I couldn't sleep well. All of that got resolved. More than anything else, what Swamiji means by traveling to many lokas is connection to Paramashiva is so close within 1 second. I know he's a connect to him. That's the most beautiful experience, and that's the result of super conscious meditation, Swamiji is saying. And even more than anything else, it's for real. And there's something beautiful unfolding inside of me without Swamiji's presence, without he being around us. And there is something going on and something blossoming inside of me, and it's all happening just by Swamiji's desire to do for us. It's I really wish and pray that everyone on this earth gets this and they can really see the divinity in themselves and divinity around the world. And Swamiji taught Paramadvaita, apply that and there is absolutely no conflicts at work. What more do we want to live? The space in which I am right now is amazing. I really feel I'm so complete. I don't want anything more. And Swamiji gave us boons as Shukracharya, as Brihaspati and as Dakshinamurti. That was the most beautiful experience where he erased all the desires we had and he brought us towards going to Paramashiva directly. I can go on and on, but it's something like everything that's been stated in this is absolutely true. And I'm saying it out of experience. Nithyananda.
Yes, another beautiful sharing. Actually, a very important point was presented by the devotee. Even though Swamiji is us, even though Swamiji's physical presence is not available for us, just through the power of oneness, through the power of quantum entanglement and quantum tunneling, Swamiji is able to mirror the brain neurons. Our brain neurons are mirroring that of Swamiji, of the avatar, which naturally raises our superconscious level and gives us that experience of oneness. The Paramashivoham program is not just a spiritual process. The spiritual process is backed by scientific facts, figures, and scientific research, which is now only coming to light and very recently only is gaining momentum. something which has been practiced by our enlightened rishis, masters, and sages who knew about the science for millennia, who have been able to practice the science and transmit the science, teach their disciples, teach their followers, and continue this. What the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the experience Swamiji is giving to all of us, is not something new, but just reviving that which was practiced in the age old ancient traditions. Let's now have the next testimony.
Nithyananda everyone. My name is Nita Swatma Premini. I'm from Melbourne, Australia. So today I'm going to share my experience with Paramashivam level 3. I have attended the actually day 2 where Swamiji was actually explaining the unit of cosmos. So I'm just my experience was first when Swamiji started sharing, like it is literally, I have never heard that before, so it's like a absolutely new thing to hear. So when Swamiji was talking about what is the unit of cosmos to measure, it is your ability to cognize, and how can actually we visualize infinity on the level of our own experience, how we see cosmos. So when Swamiji said our level of that, like we can only see one infinity, not all, but I'm just talking about myself. So we can only see the one infinity, which is a kind of a blind spot, which was exactly the eye opener for me, because I have never imagined that. Once we said, okay, visualize cosmos, visualize universe, we visualize in that form, but I have never realized, like, okay, it is my blind spot, and that's the reason why I certainly got that cognition that I become constant at one level of time. So that was a biggest eye opener for me. And after that, when Swamiji started the initiation, I started feeling little heat in my scalp region, and I was like, why this is happening? And when I felt that, the same time Swamiji also shared, like, maybe you would feel some heat in your head, because the part of your brain which is not in your control is actually responding to me. So I was like, oh my god, because just before before starting Swamiji's session, we had like a very small video regarding entanglement. And Swamiji said, for entanglement, you don't need to even stay on the two-way. The moment you just connect with the master, the entanglement starts. So even after so many months, and I saw Swamiji, just like in a moment, that entanglement had happened, and I started feeling that heat in my head. I was like, okay, still I'm in oneness with Swamiji. So I can't explain like what exactly that for me, because it was a complete ecstatic experience. I was completely feeling connected again, and it was so good. So even if you get a chance just to attend the program for 25 days, this is very good. But even if you don't have that time or any other constraint you are facing, just even if you get a chance just to attend for one day, please do that. This is amazing experiences to sit with Swamiji and have initiation directly. Nithyanandam.
Yes, another beautiful experience where the devotee experienced the entanglement with Swamiji, experienced the science which we had just previously spoken about, where everything, the initiations, the darshan, everything Swamiji is giving is something beyond just the spiritual level. It is a fact, it is reality, and it is backed by science. And so to learn more and to register yourself, to have these experiences, not just listening to them by other people, but to have these same experiences for yourself, all you need to do is go to the link, follow the link in the YouTube, it's being linked below here, the QR code as well, and the link where you can follow to the website to register yourself for the Paramashivam program. The link is also there in the description as well, where you can register for the program and experience all of these for yourself. It is now time to enter into the next segment of today's program. Take this next few minutes to register yourself for the Paramashivam program. We'll be back with you after a short break.
Nithyanandam. Welcome to all the viewers that are joining us live right now from Facebook and YouTube, and also to all the Paramashivam participants who have been there from 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and being part of this life transformational program, which is preparing you, especially today, the whole day being focused on you unleashing your possibilities of life. So, how to understand how you can thrive in your life. So, we're very delighted to welcome all the participants and all the viewers that are here who have joined us here. From morning, we all have been learning about this. The participants were there as a part of preparing themselves for the Paramashivam program. We all have been learning about the different understandings on how life has no answer for why it is the way it is, but life is never unfair, and how you cannot be afraid and not to be afraid of the changes that are happening in your life. We've been learning many powerful revelations today, unlocking your potential and how to thrive in your life. And we've been going through exploring various time-tested techniques from Sanatana Hindu Dharma, which has been extensively researched by Swamiji, and the ones that are revived by Swamiji, so that all of us can experience our potential, highest potential. And today, as we are entering into the Darshan is this time where we are experiencing the divine audience with Avatar, where our inner space gets in tune with Avatar. Literally, like how when you take a tuning fork and hit and you experience a frequency, and then you just take another one next to it, and slowly you'll start seeing this tuning fork starts vibrating in the same way. The pendulum effect, or whatever you call it is, but all those needs a physical presence. Here, just through the two-way video conferencing, we are going to be receiving extremely powerful initiation from Swamiji. How do you all feel like being here right now, being tuned in? Which countries are you here right now from? Each of you can please post it in the comment section and let us know. Actually, everyone, whichever different part of the globe that you're all joining us from here, please understand, every one of you have collectively become part of a collective group that is going to receive the darshan, which means all of us are going to radiate or resonate in the same frequency. So this whole experience, this powerful process of Bhava Samadhi Darshan is going to be directly working on your conscious levels to enhance, give you a further in-depth experience of you receiving and radiating the entanglement process. And Ma Selin Jillam is asking for blessings from Swamiji to manifest wealth for your family. Do not even worry, Ma. Actually, as soon as Swamiji's darshan starts, today the darshan we are going to be having is the darshan of Bhagavan Shiva Surya, Lord Surya, who is gracing all of us, showering all of us. Sun, the Lord of Sun, is called as Bhagavan Surya. And today, how he is without any expectation just goes on showering. Sunlight does not differentiate between who you are, what kind of a background you're from, no, nothing. He just goes on showering you. So this is like an innate quality to just give and keep on giving of Bhagavan Shiva Surya. And today we are going to be experiencing his Bhava Samadhi Darshan. So, Ma Celine, I just have a recommendation for you.
Once the darshan starts, feel free to put the same prayer. Just go down to the Swamiji, go down to Bhagavan Surya manifesting through Swamiji and put this same comment. You can just put your prayer that you have. You will see how Bhagavan Surya just showers you. You will see how Swamiji just manifests abundance, wealth for you. And I also invite you to join our special workshop that we are going to be having during the upcoming Paramashivam program, where we are going to be exploring some of the most untapped and unknown ancient techniques on how you can manifest wealth. So we are going to be going over it during the Paramashivam program. So we highly recommend you to also to be a part of. Now let us all prepare ourselves for this Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhagavan Surya.
Now, during the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, we're all going to be experiencing Shaktini Pada, entanglement. Entanglement is a quantum mechanical concept which basically describes the relationship between two or more particles, which even when separated like thousands of miles apart, when they become entangled, meaning the state of the particle is dependent on the state of another particle, even when they are separated by a large distance. Actually, this phenomenon is considered to be one of the most fundamental and mysterious aspects of quantum mechanics. And this has led to many technological and scientific breakthroughs, including quantum computing and cryptography. But what world understands as entanglement now, hundreds and thousands of years later, after so much of research, is still only a very gross level understanding of what our rishis have revealed in our Vedas and Agamas thousands of years ago. The process of Shaktini Pada is so beautifully described in our Hindu Purana, Hindu scriptures, how even when the subjects are separated, like thousands of miles apart, but when that initiation happens, when that connection happens, no matter where they go, they are still in the state of entanglement. There's so many such advanced sciences which only Hinduism can give to us as an experience. And all of us are really blessed that we have Swamiji who is giving us such an experience, a gift for all of us to experience in our day-to-day life. Now, let us all get ready to receive the darshan of Bhagavan Shiva Surya. In the Bhava Samadhi Darshan, all your prayers, all the boons that you want, just post it in chat, pray to Swamiji, connect to Swamiji, and just through the Nayana Diksha, Swamiji's blessings manifest, be showered in your life. Now, let us all enter into the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. We will now be of Bhagavan Shiva Surya. Davalamboruharudham Dadimi Kusumaprabham Spurarvakta Mahatejo Vrittamandalamajyagam Amsam Sapta Sputashveta Sanalabjakaradvayam Ekasyam Chintayedhanum Vinetram Raktavasasam. I meditate on the Lord Surya, who is mounted on the chariot with white horses. He has red aura like that of a pomegranate flower. He is shining red and he is in the middle of the circular mandala, the solar system. He holds two lotuses in his both hands. He has one face, two eyes, and wears red clothes. Now, in this same space, let us all get ready to receive the Bhava Samadhi Darshan. Oh. Nithyananda Paramashivam Om Paramashivam Om Nithyananda Paramashivam.
Connecting with the divine with your eyes closed is meditation. Connecting with the divine, with your eyes open, is Darshan. Come, let us all now move from meditation to Darshan. Slowly, very slowly, please open your eyes.
हृदयं पुण्यं सर्वशत्रुविनाशनं जयावहं जपे नित्यम् अक्षयं परमं शिवं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वर हृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं सर्वपापप्रणाशनं चिन्ताशोकप्रशमनम् आयुर्वर्धनमुत्तमम् कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते रश्मिमन्तं समुद्यन्तं देवासुरनमस्कृतं पूजयस्व विवस्वन्तं भास्करं भुवनेश्वरं कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते सर्वदेवात्मको ईश तेजस्वी रश्मिभावनः एव देवासुरगणान् लोकान् पादिकबस्तिभिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते एष ब्रह्मा च विष्णुश्च शिवस्कन्द प्रजापतिः महेन्द्रो धनदत्कालो यमः सोमो ह्यपाम्पतिः कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं आनन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
सवसाध्य यश्विनो मरुतो मनुः वायुर्वाग्नि प्रजा प्राण ऋतुकर्ता प्रभाकरः
सूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं
आदित्य सविता सूर्य खगशोषागभस्तिमान् सुवर्ण सदशोभानुर्हिरण्यरेता दिवाकर
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हरिदश्व सहस्रार्चि सप्तसप्तिर्मरीचिमान् तिमिरोन्मत्तन् शम्भुत्विष्ट मार्ताण्डांशुमान्
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरं भक्तहृदयनिवासिनं नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
हिरण्यगर्भ शिशिरः स्तपनो भास्करो रविः अग्निगर्भोऽदिते पुत्र शङ्कर शिशिरनाशनः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् ते
व्योमनाथस्तमो भेति हृदयजुस्सामपारगः घनवृष्टिरपां मित्रो विन्ध्यवीतीनपवङ्गन्
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
आतपी मण्डली मृत्यु पिङ्गल सर्वतापनः कविर्विश्वो महातेजा रक्त सर्वभवोद्भवः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
नक्षत्र ग्रहताराण अधूपो विश्वभावनः तेजसामपि तेजस्वी द्वादशात्मन् नमोऽस्तुते
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
नमः पूर्वाय गिरये पश्चिमायाद्रये नमः ज्योतिर्गणानां पतये दिनादिपतये नमः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
जयाय जयभद्राय हर्यक्ष्वाय नमो नमः नमो नमः सहस्रांशो आदित्याय नमो नमः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
नमः उग्राय वीराय सारङ्गाय नमो नमः नमः पद्मप्रबोधाय मार्ताण्डाय नमो नमः
कोटिम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
ब्रह्मेशानाच्युतेशाय सूर्यादित्यवर्चसे भास्वते सर्वभक्षाय रौद्राय वपुषे नमः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
तमग्नाय हिमग्नाय शत्रुघ्नाय मितात्मने कृतघ्नघ्नाय देवाय ज्योतिषां पतये नमः
कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते कोटिसूर्यस्वरूपिणम् आनन्दकन्त ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदयनिवासिनम् नित्यानन्दं नमोऽस्तुते
भक्तचामीकराभाय कर्मणे नमस्तमोऽभिनिघ्नाय पूजये लोकसाक्षिणे
कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते
भाषयत्येष वैभूतम् तदेव जगुः पायत्येष तपत्येष वर्षत्येष गवस्तिभिः
कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते
एष सुमेषु जागर्ति भूतेषु परिनिष्ठितः एष एवाग्निहोत्रम् च फलम् चैवाग्निहोत्रिणाम्
कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते
वेदाक्ष्वकृतवश्चैव ऋतूनां फलमेव च यानि कृत्यानि लोकेषु सर्व एष रविप्रभुः
कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते हृदयम् पुण्यम् सर्वशत्रुविनाशनम् जयावहम् जपे नित्यम् अक्षयम् परमम् शिवम् कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते कोटि सूर्य स्वरूपिणम् आनन्दगन्ध ईश्वरम् भक्तहृदय निवासिनम् नित्यानन्दम् नमोऽस्तुते
I know all of us are not able to stop smiling with this. Oh my God. This darshan is just so soothing, and takes our brain frequency to an extremely high level. Just take a moment now and think of anything that you want to manifest for you. What is it that you want to immediately manifest? Just visualize that you're already having it. Now, you will see how this energy that's just bubbling inside you will be infused into that thought of yours, and you will be manifesting this thought as reality.
And every one of you, all the viewers on YouTube and Facebook that have joined with us today, that enjoyed the darshan, do not miss very shortly, just in less than 24 hours from now, we are going to be having a very special Bhava Samadhi darshan of Shanmukha Subramanya, the 6 faces of Subramanya, marking the auspicious occasion of Thaipusam. So do not miss. I request and I invite everyone to join us back tomorrow, New York time at 6 a.m. New York time, the pre-preparatory program will start, and 11:30 a.m. will be the darshan, and 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time, 6 p.m. 10 p.m. Indian Standard Time, darshan will be there. 6 p.m. Indian Standard Time, the pre-preparatory program will start. So do not miss. We welcome everyone to join. Please invite your friends, family members, everybody for tomorrow's darshan. It's going to be something very, very, very powerful. We're going to be having a live darshan of the 6 faces of Subramanya. And we invite everybody to join us. Do not miss if you want to experience these darshans daily, having the live darshans of Swamiji and having access to some of the exclusive special sessions with Swamiji. Sign up to Paramashivam starting from the 9th of February. And with this, we thank everyone who have joined with us live on Facebook, on YouTube. And we welcome you all to join us back tomorrow. Thank you. Nithyananda.
For centuries, we've sought to understand the essence of life.